welcome back to the Legal Alternative Podcast. Me, SamPawson, joined by Nils virtually today. How are you, Nils?
Very good, Sam. You?
Yeah, good. Both fresh off Sports Day, which we'll mention later. All good. We've got a theme today. We're doing a bit of an AI special. You've got a bit of a legal update out of the courts. I'm going to talk about grievances and the use of AI, which we've mentioned in passing. I thought it'd be really good to do a bit of an overall summary today. So, yeah, I think you're kicking us off, Nils, with AI in the Crown Court.
Yeah, so hot off the press. 11th of June as we record this. I know the recording will be going out a bit later, but on the 9th of June, Ministry of Justice announced a pilot scheme for the use of AI in the Crown Court. As we've discussed probably 3 or 4 times down the pod, a huge delay in Crown Court cases.
Yeah.
And this pilot scheme is intended to improve the justice system and reduce big delays in bringing cases to trial, in particular in the Crown Court. So the pilot will include, I'm just reading from the press release, AI legal assistance to support legal professionals and staff and streamlined case management processes. And we've talked about Sir Brian Levison's recommendations. This is off the back of those. The new AI legal assistance will be developed in partnership with the UK's top legal experts and leading AI developers to support legal professionals with routine casework, including research and case analysis. So the technology is first going to be contested in what's called controlled environments that set clear standards for safe and ethical use, and the software needs to meet the standard required by judges and lawyers. Interestingly, it goes a bit further. Judges will use the new AI tool to help identify trial-ready cases and group similar hearings together to resolve cases sooner. I don't think we've talked about what I'm going to talk about next on the pod at all, Sam, but quite often we deal with probation services.
Yeah.
And I feel really sorry for them. They really are under the cosh. So good news for the probation service. They'll be equipped with what's called Justice Transcribe. And what happens with pre-sentence reports is clients meet with the probation service, I suppose, defendants, I should really call them. What those meetings now are going to be, and it may be seen as quite unbelievable to some listeners, this is only just going to start to happen. Those are going to be automatically transcribed in the same way we would if we were having a Teams meeting. And that is estimated to going to free up 18,750 working days each year. Just some discussion points from me. I would be interested to know who the top legal experts and leading AI developers are. They're going to play a crucial role in that. I've used AI. I think it's a great tool. When it comes to the management of live cases, though, that requires an input from a human.
Yeah.
It requires input from barristers in court explaining what the issues are on a very basic level. I'd be interested to see how this AI is developed. I'm sure it will be developed, but for me, the Crown Court and the justice system needs to deal with other issues as well, and that's the disclosure issues and delays in getting matters to trial for other reasons, prisoner transfers, sitting days, the hours that courts sit. It'd be interesting to see if AI helps with these things, but I don't think it's the silver bullet, as AI never will be in any sphere. I don't think that's going to cure all the justice system's ills.
No, as you said, I think the key word you use is tool. It's a tool that still requires human input. Is where it's going wrong. We've already seen it going wrong in our profession. I won't name the very large firm that is come into a lot of scrutiny for the use of AI at a junior, and then there's a lack of supervision where fictitious cases have been cited. With everything, it's a tool that is very helpful if it's reviewed and scrutinised properly. And the danger comes where there's an acceptance of what you've been given is correct. So, things like you mentioned the probation transcription, absolutely brilliant, and all of those hours saved, but someone has to check it.
Yeah.
So there's a reduction in hours saving, but absolutely, the saving over someone doing a hand note and hand copy, which still has errors in and can cause. So, absolutely, I think it will help, but as you say, with any technology, it's not the the only solution. It's a complementary part, in my view.
Yeah, Yeah, and you've got to have informed users using this.
Yeah.
And the training this will take, I suspect, will be significant as well. So I'm sure it is going to make an impact. I just hope that the wider suite of problems is looked at.
Yeah. And a really good segue into my discussion, Nils, that, and I've mentioned it a few times on the pod in terms of what we're seeing in practice with the use of AI, in particular in grievances made by employees. And this is perversely, from what you're talking about, is actually a massive now added time restraint on often my clients, the HR teams. Some stats to share generally about use of AI, that around 70% of the public are using it for day-to-day tasks. 61% of organizations are now using it. That is absolutely being reflected in what I'm seeing day-to-day with grievances. And grievances being, of all the employment law issues, the matter that is initially employee-centric. So when you have other processes, redundancies, variations of contract, it's led by the company. With a grievance, it's obviously led by the employee. And what we're seeing is a huge increase in grievances that are clearly generated by AI, which is causing, a number of issues. So kind of a few things I want to talk about, just to kind of, for any listeners, for any HR practitioners listening to the pod, kind of what are you looking out for? Some of the flags when it's clearly an AI grievance. Some are better than the others, but I think the common themes we're seeing is the first thing is volume. We used to get a 2-paragraph grievance. This is my issue. You're now getting, reams of grievances that are 4, 5, 6 pages in length. The structure, they are very structured in that same structure. Use of paragraphs, clearly setting out those issues where, would an employee normally set it out in that structure. Overly complex use of legal language, again, which probably wouldn't be seen. Referring to case law decisions in a grievance, unlikely, unless it's a grievance from a lawyer, unlikely that you would see that, but is often being seen. Tone is the key one I'm seeing. It's a bit of a flag for use of AI. Often very dramatic in tone. The use of language, it's often exaggerated. It's often talks in very catastrophic details about how this is setting unrealistic demands that, again, would an actual employee be looking for. Whereas the nature of most grievances are, I'm upset about something, I'd like you to do something about it. So there's some kind of flags for the listeners to kind of look out for. The challenge is that of the volume needs to be responded to, and that's the big strain upon a lot of my clients in dealing with this. And the irony of, you get lots of commentary about AI is gonna remove jobs, and your job's gonna be soon be dealt with by AI. If anything, my job and your job and the jobs of a lot of our HR professionals listening are only going to be increased, because they are now dealing with what would have been very simple gripes, complaints, as a very complex grievance process, where employees often keep coming back and will put it back through AI. I'm seeing lots of issues where you're not even getting to a hearing because there is so much discourse about disclosure in particular. So we're not even ever getting to a hearing because we're spending weeks, if not months, dealing with the initial grievance letter and the demands from AI. If there are employees listening to this, it's, I think, the adage, and it's things that we used to deal with years ago as a solicitor giving advice. The chat bot will not be on the stand with you. So when you're talking to employees, it would always be to explain to them is, well, it's very well that this tool has given you the confidence and to be able to illustrate your point. But if you can't articulate it yourself, the value is absolutely lost. Where I feel the challenges for a lot of HR professionals when dealing with clearly AI grievances is we have to have a balance between, we can't just say to an employee, well, you didn't mean that because you've not done this. The assumption that you can't challenge that. You have to deal with it on the face of it. But where you can, I think it is helpful to try and reframe some of those discussions, to talk to the employee about putting it in simpler language, in simpler terms. We're seeing in practice lots of grievance hearings, the challenge of the employee not being able to communicate in that hearing what the letter says, and we therefore have two versions of events: what's said in a statement and what's said in a letter. So no easy answers, but just for the kind of listeners to be aware, as I say, 70% of these grievances almost now could be AI generated in part, and that we have to deal with that. As you all know, what we're also seeing with AI grievances is they're accompanied by subject access requests.
Yeah.
And they're becoming overly litigious in a way, which again goes completely against, if you go back to the heart of a grievance and the heart of the ACAS guidelines in grievances, what that talks about is in issues being dealt with informally at first, and the grievance and the hearing and the letter is the last resort, and we're completely losing that control, and we're going straight into what is quite a heated and often very technical debate. I think that's again against what is the purpose, and I hope that's not reflected when we kind of bring that back to your chat about the use of AI in the Crown Courts. That's the risk, that's the frustration, that it actually overly complex, what is an already complicated and time consuming matter. So that's the balance I think we need to achieve. Don't know, Nils, any thoughts from you?
I would, if I got an AI generated grievance, despite the fact it might take a lot longer, I'd be quite heartened that it was AI generated or had some AI input, because I would be thinking the people on the other side have lost the tactical element, because AI hasn't developed that, has it? It hasn't developed the tactical nous that a lawyer has. So as time consuming as it may be, a positive spin is that we're up against now a grievance where that element of tactics has been lost a little bit by the person making the grievance. So I think that's the positive side, but I completely understand what used to be a 2-paragraph grievance, I'm not happy because of X, Y, and Z, to then turn that into 10 pages. That's really frustrating. But equally, if it ever gets to tribunal, that's going to come across, isn't it? That this hasn't been well thought through because it's just been blurted out by a bot.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that's the challenge. It's and again, we'll see if this plays out. Is the statistics haven't yet come through tribunal, or if they are, it's not measurable. That does it push more people and more cases to the tribunal? Because as you say, what is lost slightly in AI is, one, the tactical consideration, and critically the idea of commerciality.
Yeah.
Because what the AI bot is saying to individuals is that you've got wonderful claims. This is how you and this is how you'll progress your claim. It's not talking about time considerations, litigation risk, the cost of both in time and effort, and fine if because your AI can't represent you on the stand, you'll have to do it yourself, and whether that actually defeats settlement or not, we'll yet to find out. But I think it's the cases I've seen. We are now getting AI solicitors. I've received letters from AI employment lawyers. And I won't name the firms. They are backed by legitimate law firms, but again, highly regulated industry. So it's always good fun to ask the AI lawyer about their SRA code of conduct and the acting in litigation. If you're not a qualified lawyer, never mind a chatbot. So it's the world we're living in. We'll battle these issues. Both wanted to talk about it on the pod. Probably no solutions as yet, but I think really key for our listeners to kind of be wary of this and play it with a straight back. I think is the best advice at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. But interesting times.
Absolutely. A bit out of the office, as I mentioned. Few things to update. Both just come off Chadwick Lawrence's first sports day. We arrived slightly different times, Nils, throughout the day. But it was a great event in your neck of the woods in Brighouse Sports Club. Lots will be going on the Chadwick Lawrence socials for our listeners to have a look and a laugh at, no doubt. But that was a wonderful day, and the weather just about held off.
It did, yeah. I arrived just at the right time.
Yeah.
And yeah, fantastic day. I really enjoyed it. So thank you for everyone that came to that. Really did enjoy it.
We're busy as always. Want to just, I think we've mentioned it in the past, our Darlington office now opening. We have our second ever seminar in Darlington. Details on the YouTube channel, Spotify. Go on the website at chatwithlawrence.co.uk. We are talking about flexible working with our dear colleague Daniel in Darlington. So will be a fantastic event. I know you've been up there in the Darlington office. It's great for kind of new patch for us.
Yeah, fantastic. I think I've been up three times to see our colleague Simon up there. Really easy to get up to, and when you get up there, the facility really is first class. Lovely office, lovely part of the world. I've got a soft spot for the northeast because that's where I went to university. A bit further north than that, but yeah, really looking forward to getting stuck into the Darlington patch, really.
Yep, absolutely. So as always, just to flag for our listeners, obviously these videos go out weekly. We also have the Monday Morning Dispatch newsletter that goes out on that. So check all our content coming out. We've got lots coming up, both on the podcast and loads of legal updates as we talk about every week with the Employment Rights Act changes. We're getting loads on the regulatory front, aren't we, Nils? We've had 4 or 5 quite big ones back to back. So keep an eye out. Subscribe to our channels. Links and descriptions below. And I think we might be back in person next week. So it'll be great to see you there. And it's goodbye from me.
Yep, and from me. Take care, everyone.